Douglas Gauthier and Jeremy Edmiston talking about Burst 008, the latest iteration of their burst system.
My name is Douglas Gauthier. Each burst house is like an Andy Warhol portrait. You could build 100 burst houses and no two would be alike. What this is criticizing that replicability and saying, no, prefab can give you a multitude of uniqueness rather than the same thing.
I'm Jeremy Edmiston. We were looking for a way to build complex geometry easily or perhaps inexpensively. I think that building successfully is about managing the risks of construction. With burst, there's very little interpretation between the model that's designed in the studio and the machine that's cutting the framing. And so you're controlling the waste, minimizing materials, maximizing the efficiency of the systems and the materials that are in play in the house.
The form of the house is actually a series of diagonal folds that make up the complex form. It's not a box. It doesn't look like a mobile home.
The structure of the house is a woven, ribbed system made from inch-thick plywood. The spacing of the ribs changes, and from inside the house, the skin completely hides the structure, so you only see the folds of the geometry. The structure isn't really stable until almost the last piece is in place.
It's a tension system. So that when the skin is put into place, it becomes structural. It becomes much, much stronger than its parts.
Under the house is going to be a fun space. It's going to be an urban play space.
When you walk under the house, you see the full depth of the ribs. They go anywhere from 10 inches to 3.5 feet. It's in some ways, very social space. You'll pass under the house, and you don't even have to go into it to experience it. You can sit on the bleachers, you can hang out. I think it'll be a meeting place for people. Meet me on the burst bleachers.
Inside, you start to see the ribs exposed, and you start to see the pattern of the ribs and the spacing as it changes in the structure.
The formal living, dining, kitchen space is the gathering space. It opens out to the largest expanse of glass in the house. Then there's a segue. You walk up 3 steps into the bedroom.
You see that there's a slice that's been pulled away to create a horizontal window, if you will. And this is the cross-ventilation slot, literally a window for all of the bedrooms and bathrooms.
It brings light into the master bedroom suite, but also bounces light off of the surfaces back into the living room and dining room area. So there's a whole series of subtle changes as you pass through.
The only view out of the bedrooms is up towards the sky. So you get the tall buildings of Manhattan from the bedrooms, where I'm not quite sure what color will be reflected in the MoMA house from the afternoon sun. But we'll have to find out.